Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Seance at the Blake Manor. Last time, we learned that it was Mrs. Joyce who hired us to investigate the disappearance of Miss Evelyn Blake, and we have expertly finished almost every thread available. We have Jonathan Blake, whose investigation I imagine we will continue during the silent dinner when we go to the Blake residence. We have Mr. Varley, who we need to leave his room so that we can investigate his quarters and then probably get into his safe in the manager office. So otherwise we have half an hour empty until Varley moves. And in that time, I think we will go and talk to everyone about their reflections and overall talk to people about any interesting topics that come up. Well, let's start with Fiat.
Satisfied?
Oh gods, no. The seance is still going ahead. Damage will still happen. But we've protected the well. And I think a rift between Rory and I is mended. Declan. I'm so proud of him.
Well, good for you.
What a fool I was, to be such a stick in the mud.
Indeed.
I should have trusted his new ways. And, in doing so, had faith in myself as a teacher. I guess one always worries they've not done enough to prepare their young'uns. But you have to let them fly, I suppose. And Rory, he soared.
Anything else we want to cover here? I guess let's ask you about the Fae. What can you tell me about the Fae? The other folk, you mean? I'd be careful, especially here, now. As we near Samain, the veil gets thinner and thinner. It's not only ghosts that draw near. Alright. Tell me about Brid. Can you tell me about the goddess Brid? Well, as the Kalach is the winter, they say Brid is the summer, one of the fairest and most loved goddesses. It is said that when her son was killed by Goibno, that she killed the first kinning, and all other kinning sins is her sharing that sorrow with mortal kind, and knowing their pain of loss. Oh? Have you been to an event such as this one before? Such as this one, with a rake of so-called magicians looking to tamper with the very fabric of our world? No, I haven't been that unlucky. Looks like my luck's run out, eh? I couldn't think of a worse use for all this know-how if I tried. Mark my words, this little trick of theirs, if it works, will be devastating. I've seen it on the wind, and I feel it in my bones. What about the device? What do you make of that strange device in the atrium? That worrisome jar of green energy. I've seen it. I've poked it. I've even spilled wine on it. But nothing seems to deter it from whatever it is doing. I have a bad feeling about it, Declan. Okay. I guess we can ask. Might I ask how you came to have the white streak in your hair? I don't think I've seen it it's like before. I've had it all my life. You should have seen me with it when I was a little girl. Some people believe it's a sign of wisdom to be born with such a thing, you know? Now, I can't say for certain that's true, but I do like the idea. Tell me about Walter Blake. Do you know young Walter Blake? Well, I've heard of him. Everyone local has. I'd hoped I'd get a good look at him while I was here, but he really does stick to the shadows, doesn't he? What about Jonathan Blake? Do you know the Marquess? Well, I thought I did. Not closely or personally, but as a figure, I reckoned I knew him. Then he goes and runs an event like this, and, well, he's a very different man than he was a few years ago.
I'll let you.
You take care now, Declan.
Alright. Let's yap with Toussaint a little. We haven't talked to you for a while.
Hello again, Monsieur Ward. Can I help you?
Was it worth it? You have Ericsson, but at the cost of learning what she would have done.
The depravities of mankind are not new to me. I've seen, indeed experienced firsthand, magic and its beliefs used to justify many terrible things. But what shakes me in this case is the reasoning. That she would do such a thing in hopes that it might grant encounter something as trivial as magic, her humanity meant so little to her. This is what upsets me. But it is done.
Okay. What do you know about Walter Blake? I don't suppose you've met the Marquis's son? The boy in the portraits? No, I have not. This Seance is no place for a child. It is better he is kept away. What about Blake himself? Did you meet the Marquis? Oui. I dined with him the night I arrived. A pleasant discussion, though he seemed bewildered with my being here. Frustrated almost. I am, of course, used to such receptions. You are, I think, an atheist, so what do you think about Synod? Have you met Father Synod? No, I do not trust priests. In fact, I do not think anyone who seeks power should be given it. But with the Church, there is no due process, no punishment given to them. We are conditioned to defer to men in white coats, black frocks, and blue uniforms. They will protect us. Maybe, at least until they decide you are the type of person who needs to be protected against. No?
That's all.
Take care.
Okay. I imagine as an introductory character, Toussaint is overall... that Toussaint overall has very little to say on anything. And let's also go and yap with Ericsson a little.
Again?
Yo...
What will you do after this?
If you must discuss it. Now that I know I am forever doomed, I think I am done with this life. I will return to New York and my husband, and try to find some way to enjoy this joyless experience.
So you are married and you still hate everything.
He will be happy, I am sure. It will free some storage space for his golf trophies.
What about the strange device? What do you make of the strange device in the atrium? Oh, the measuring device. It is very impressive, isn't it? I think it bodes well for the Seance. Okay, minority opinion. Do you have any plans for today? I suppose I'll be in church at 11 and lunch at 1. The doctor's talk at 3 might be at silly, but he's easy on the eye, and I love the Irish accent. I don't think I'd have another talk in me after that. I'll nap at 5 instead. I'll be in my room at 9 PM too, when the Seance takes place. I'm done with all that. Hey. I don't suppose you've met the Marquis's son. His son? I didn't know he had one. He can be social sort. Have you met the Marquis? I have, though I can't say he seems much for conversation. After all this effort, you'd think he might be a little more interested in his guests.
I won't bother.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you are also not subject of interest. Who do we have here? I guess we should go and populate the church area, just for the sake of it. I imagine it is just Omira though. And if it is Omira, we should also talk to him. It is just Omira. Well then, fess up, Omira. What are you going to be up to?
Do you have much understanding of what your angel wants of you?
Not yet. Something physical, I know that. Whatever it wants of me, I need to be healed. I can feel my body recovering at an accelerated rate since pledging myself to it. I assume its intentions will become clear to me soon enough. But first, the Seance, then a visit to my mother. I have put her to worry for all too long. I need to assure her that what comes next is a divine quest, and so, safe.
Yeah, I kind of worry about you.
It's silly, but that will put her at ease. The only challenge will be getting her to believe me. It is, admittedly, something of a change of character.
The device. Did you see that odd contraption in the atrium? The what? The what? Given much notice to anything in that room. Tell me about Walter Blake. Do you know anything about Marquez Blake's son? Well, I know all this will be his when his father passes. The last surviving Blake, if you can call his state surviving. Not that I can comment on anyone's physical health. I mean, you still can. Do you know much about our host, the Marquez? Certainly. I've heard of him. For a while, he was all anyone would talk about. When his wife died, many ambitious families tried to pawn their daughters off on him. He had no interest, it seems. Shame. I can't see the line lasting beyond him and the boy. Okay. We actually found some information. Surprising. Haven't we asked this before? Have you by chance met Miss Dean? Have I? I mightn't have shown my face if I knew Evelyn was here. But why should I suffer for her lack of decorum? Miss Dean turned down a marriage proposal I made her a year or two ago, and there was not a second thought to it. It would have been one thing if it were just an offer of convenience, but I thought... I was stupid enough to ask if she'd mind me switching to room 16, you know, just to be near her. At least I was there to overhear her and Miss Queen arguing in the corridor the other evening. Honestly, quarantine needs to let it go. Evelyn just makes use of people. It's just how she is. Okay. Have you had the opportunity to meet with Father Seance? We didn't talk for very long, but we have. He asked me what brought me here. So I talked with him about angels. He asked me some questions, but grew quickly bored by my responses. I've been avoiding him since. Imagine, boring a priest. Ah, but there is a Sunday Mass at 12, isn't there? So much for that. I'll see him then.
I'll be off, miss.
There are other things I wanted to ask you, but I think I first want to ask things of Jonathan Blake. While he's still standing there. I'd like to ask him about refusal, for example. Did we get... Alright, we got information on Queen. Knew Miss Dean before arriving. So, for example... Okay, we have discussed this and there is nothing more to it. Did we get all the information on Fiat? No, there are still 2 pieces of evidence somewhere. And unfortunately, Domhnall has gone missing. So I don't imagine... Oh, never mind, we actually had the theory on him, so... No, Domhnall is properly wrapped up. And there is no one else, right? This is just Coventry, no one, Blake and Varley, Blake... Okay, everyone else is properly cleared. We are doing well. Let's go and chat with Blake briefly on various topics. Today's episode is not going to be terribly riveting or move the plot forward. We are just wasting time until... Honestly, until we get to Varley. Actually, maybe if we can get to Varley soon, then it might be a good episode after all. Not that it would be bad otherwise.
Do you think you'll meet Miss Callahan to scry again?
Yes, definitely. She even said she'd be willing to keep teaching me what she knows. I'm so filled with thanks. I could see my little one anytime I'd like. And with magic, I might finally have some say in my own life now, sir. You arranged it all, didn't you? Thank you. You didn't have to.
No, don't mention it, miss. I'm glad I could help.
I'm just so glad to see my little girl again.
Well, good for you. Anything planned for today? I have mass first thing. Then more work, sir. Nothing exciting, sorry. Okay, what about the shadowy figure? Have you ever seen anything large on the grounds? Large? Unless you're meaning a horse, then no. But I've heard other guests talking of giants. Not sure if that's what you mean. Maybe there is something of use in the library. Okay, let's go to the atrium. Mr. Blake. The cage is almost empty, and the third light has gone off. Alright, let's discuss the shit out of you. I'm told there is some scandal around your choice not to remarry. It's that now. I did my duty, I married, and sighed. Perhaps it did not work out as intended, but I am under no further obligation. I have not met another woman like Mary. Perhaps our vows were until death do us part, but I will face her at God's door as true to her as I ever was. Well, let's ask him about Varley. Has Mr. Varley been with you long? Since the beginning. He is a fine man, a loyal man. I know that this event doesn't sit well with him and the other staff, but they understand it is important to me, and so they work their damnedest to make it work. That's the attitude one needs in servants. Have you met with Mr. Coventry? I have tried to meet with each one of the event's guests. Mr. Coventry's reason for being here mirrors my own. He has lost a wife. Hopefully, he too gets what he wants from the Seance. I fear that he does, for bad reasons. What can you tell me about the strange device in the atrium? The gauge? It was built for this event. It is a measure of our collective psychic energy, a measure of how ready we are to be surveilled, and thus a predictor of the seance's success. It was full when I arrived, but that is no longer the case. Will that impact things? I cannot say for certain, but a fuller reading would be preferable. I am sure Miss Mantovani will overcome any obstacles she encounters, however. Keeping an eye on the time, Marquez. The seance has been in planning for some time now. As we near the seance itself, it feels as if the time is slowing. I am most eager to get to it. When I arrived, I saw a woman washing something in the fountain. I have seen this woman, though she is no woman. She is a spectre. I see her across the manor, more now as the place fills and the hour draws near. Sometimes I think she is Mary, but no. If you will forgive my forwardness, but I was not expecting a gala quite like the one of last night. I assure you, Mr. Ward, neither was I. But these things, rituals I mean, have, well, rituals. You mean to say that was part of the seance? Part of the preparation for it, yes. Tonight we performed the seance, but we have been hurtling toward it for some time now. With the ball, we crossed one of the final thresholds, the point of no return. A seance is a strange event to host. How did that come to be? I lost my wife a few years ago, a carriage accident. It was a difficult time for me. It was the abruptness with which she was taken. So much left unsaid. I found some comfort through visiting a medium. I would not say it healed me, but it helped me to get on this path. Naturally, I became interested in the practice and wanted to do my part in forwarding the field. Somehow it doesn't feel like you're healed, it feels like you're still intensely grieving. I have no abilities there, so to speak, but I have this manner, and so that is what I offer up. Can you tell me anything about the Fae? I know the workers on the land leave our tribute to them and blame them when the crops go. When a person goes missing, it's often blamed on them too, or when a child has an accident. Has the manor been open to the public for long? I took over the titles and lands when my father died in the mid-1860s. The manor was over 200 years old by then, and needed much work. But the famine did not leave a lot of spare funds, so I opened the place as a hotel to help finance the renovations. This was in the spring of 1870. The work is never ending, so we stay open. But it wasn't for that reason at all. It's nice to have people here. When I was young, there were more of us. And I am told, in my grandfather's time and before that, there were many families under the roof. It was not made to sit here idle. It is good for the house to have life in it.
If you'll excuse me.
Of course.
So, what does 5 p.m. bring us? A talk on the history of the region from Mr. Coventry, which we of course will attend. How exciting!
Well, this is quite the turnout. Even the Marquess himself has come. Well, I hadn't expected anyone to take much interest in the area. I suppose I should start by introducing myself. My name is Simon Coventry. I'm going to share some interesting facts about this part of Ireland that I picked up while researching for this trip.
Hey, and listen.
So, I'm sure you all know, this land came into the Blake family in the 1650s after Cromwell's invasion. What I found interesting was what came before. This land was a place of worship and innovation, a gathering spot for scholars and engineers and artists to work on understanding and advancement, the betterment of their people. Easy pickings for Edward Blake. No doubt he and Cromwell cared very little for any knowledge held by primitive pagans. I couldn't find anything that spoke to what happened at the work from that site. Presumably it was set ablaze. One has to assume not everyone was put to death by Cromwell's forces. However, I suspect many surrounding families have stories and knowledge passed down from that time, and those people. Why, given his background, perhaps our very own Dr. Callahan is linked to that place.
You flatter me, sir.
Perhaps those survivors are the reason that Connacht is home to all manner of wonderful myths and sacred sites. Rachroin and Owenaga Cave, Queen Maeve and her cattle raids, the Children of Lear. All fascinating stories, but too long to get into here. Certainly worth a read in the very well-stocked library here, if you find yourself bored. Not that I can see that happening with the Seance only hours away.
Does anything of the pre-Christian site still exist?
Oh, I don't think so, I'm afraid. From what I can gather, it was all razed to make way for the castle and its estate.
I read one monk's account that what was here before was partially underground.
You've done your homework, Father. Yes, some accounts do suggest that, though none of the maps I've studied show anything useful. Marquess?
There are some sinkholes on the far reaches of the grounds, where caverns beneath the old settlements collapsed in. I do not know whether those collapses are the result of time, or if they were manually closed. I suppose it matters not either way. Nothing else remains.
Well, there you go, Father. That's me, I am afraid. I've nothing else to share. Probably quite mundane in the face of everything, but nothing wrong with a break in the face of madness.
Well, well, well. Quite interesting. And got the achievement Obscure Scholar. Attend all of the talks. Not difficult to get. We'll pick up a reflection from Father Synod and then go into the basement.
Yes, my child?
Are you okay, Father?
My mission is not complete, but my part in it is over. What happens next is up to you. As for me, I have spent much of my life fighting the Demiurge's illusions. Whatever comes after this, trick or not, I intend to let myself enjoy it while I can.
I'll take my...
You are an odd man for the Synod. In any case, we are off to the basement. Yep. West Tower is here, and it will do nicely for our purposes. Varley, Varley, Varley. Let me into your special room. God damn it. Like, am I screwed out of doing Varley's quest now? Am I literally just too late now to do Varley? Like, yes, I have an hour and a half left. No, I have 2 hours and a half. But... yeah, I'm not sure if I will be able to do Varley's stuff. Yeah... Yes. Well, let's exit the basement and... I don't know, maybe we can call him out to the front desk and use that as an opportunity to sneak into his room? Not imagine that to be so, but maybe? Okay, of course Seamus is in the bar. Well, he is staffing the bar, so... Flyers for the Grand Seance. I'm pretty sure we have seen this before. Oh, I don't think we have seen this. An assortment of trashy Roman stories. We cannot examine the toys. A paper from 3 years ago. The main story is the carriage accident that resulted in the death of Marques's wife. Okay, that summons Varley. How long have you worked for Marquess Blake? The Manor opened as a hotel in 1870. I came here as a young man and worked as a kitchen hand, and then a porter. Eventually I became the manager. My grandfather had worked here as staff for the Blake family decades earlier. Me this way. It was, and still is, one of the only secure jobs in the area. I can't say I was expecting the hotel to host such a party such as that one. I understand it is not uncommon for such circles. The Marquess was clear that this had to be on par with a London event, at all costs. Do you happen to get reports of ghosts from your guests? If you mean to tell me you've seen some waif wandering the halls, or a figure in the garden, you would not be the first. The Manor seems to inspire that sort of story. What is the purpose of the strange device in the atrium? A meter for the event, sir. Something to do with the readiness for the seance. It was custom-made. with no expense spared. The Marquess, or perhaps Miss Mantovani, would explain it better for you.
I need nothing.
Certainly.
Motherfucker, he leaves. God damn it. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Let's put the time in. We do not know the code, so I will not bother, but we can spend the unit of time now to save it for later. Administrative files, nothing of value. Various books on management, accountancy, and running the hotel. Old newspapers from the past few days. Yeah, no, unfortunately Varley has screwed us out of doing his quest for the time being. Very, very unfortunate. Today's newspaper. There is a brief article on the gathering of strange guests in this manor. It has an unwelcoming tone. An outdoor jacket. There is nothing in the book. Alright, then we will go back to the... I guess we can visit the bar first to chat with Seamus a little. I'm not exactly in the mood for a game right now. Okay, so you do not play pool. A chessboard. Someone started playing, but I didn't get far with their game. There are a few darts abandoned in the board. Rude. Oh, there is a staff door here, which we cannot access. Oh, and there is also booze here we could have gotten.
Hello again.
Where will you go?
Everywhere, I hope. I was looking at France. We had a French couple come here once. They were really different. Didn't care what anyone else thought. But this week, I've met, well, in the loosest sense of it, people from so much further. Maybe I'll go to all their countries. Huh. Imagine they bumped into me. I wonder if they'd even know who I was.
I think it would be a bit tough on the porter's salary to do all that much travel in the time period. What can you tell me about Mary Blake? Mary? Oh, you mean Mrs. Marquez? Not much. I never knew her. They hired me long after she died. Mr. Doyle, what was the nature of your relationship with Miss Dean? ... Why do I get the feeling I should answer you straight on this? We knocked boots a few times. Started with her getting me to steal some wine from the bar and bring her to restricted areas. It ended about when her ex, Cathal, showed up. I guess she was embarrassed to be seen slamming it with a bellboy. She had been avoiding me ever since. No big deal. Stuff like this happens all the time. Maybe don't say that to Mr. Varley. I wanted to ask if you have ever seen anything here larger than a ghost, a shadowy figure. Sir, Sorry, if you need help with something tangible, then I'm your man. This stuff, no. Alright. Do you often see Marquess Blake's son? Almost never. Every so often, I take a meal up for him, but mostly Mrs. Joyce or Miss Murphy do that. I can stay clear. What do I have to talk about with a 10-year-old rich kid? How do you find working for Marquess Blake? He doesn't deal with me much. He'll talk to Varley, who'll pass down commands from up high. Suits me. I don't much like the idea of nobility pushing us about. I like forgetting about him and pretending I work in a normal hotel. Well, maybe not normal. Fair enough. Have you met Mr. Coventry? The kindly old guy who is strangely smug under it all? Yeah, I met him. He was buying drinks for Miss Dean like it was nobody's business. Rich old guys love tossing their cash around to impress the ladies. Curious? What do you know of the catacombs under the manor? Ah, I've heard they exist, but I've never been able to find them. Wait, how do you know about those? Wait, how do I know about them? Huh. For a moment there, a real want to know crept up in me, but it's gone again. Odd. Are there tickets for the luggage room, Mr. Doyle? Ah, yes. The guests are always losing those, so you needn't worry if you come across one. Mr. Hunter spent half a day nailing up those numbers in the luggage room. Of course, it's not worth it if the people keep losing their tickets. Do you know anything about the Fae, Mr. Doyle? Best not to talk about them, sir. At least not to call them by name. I met one, once, out on the grounds. I thought maybe he was a guest I hadn't seen, but the moment I looked him in the eyes. And then he asked me for my name. My own voice, asking my name from my own face. I knew if I stayed, I had given him my name. And I knew if he had that, I'd not be seen again. Not the real me. I never knew until that night how fast my legs could carry me. I wouldn't have expected the Manor to put on a party such as that ball. They act so high and mighty, these people, but there is not much difference between them and us. They just like to pretend there is, that's all. Was it good? No. It wasn't my kind of gathering. Shame. It looked fun from out here.
I'll leave you be.
Yeah, alright.
Well, you know, we were all drugged and stuff, so that wasn't that good. Okay, Varley, for the love of God, please fuck off from your room. Jesus Christ, Callahan. You sneaky fuck. Varley, I am begging you. Just do not be in there. That is the only thing I need from you. Oh, thank fuck. He left. Without bedclothes, I would assume this is just being stored here while it's out of use. A chamber pot for whoever would take this bed. Nothing? Nothing in it but dust and adult beds. Ah, this is how we were supposed to learn the last symbol. A torn piece of paper. I can see a sequence of symbols on it, but some are blotted out by spilled ink. The writing says, "Where can we get the money to keep going? Why can't I remember?" And "Protect the poor lads." Lads? What lads? Where did my mind go? Yeah, but this is for the basement, which we no longer need. Praying devotional of the Lord Jesus Christ on the cross. It's a little warm, but it seems like it would still keep the rain off. Looks like blankets. I'm surprised they are still stored away with the weather like it is. I suppose they're used to the cold out here. Hello. The 13th series apparently. Looks like dry reading to me. Some freshly washed handkerchiefs left to dry. All sorts of books, from cooking and housekeeping to an almanac from 10 years ago. Quite a collection, to be sure, but there is nothing that stands out to me as useful here. A collection of notes on guest movements and interactions, mostly focused on Miss Dean. "Where did she go?" is written alongside them. It seems like Mr. Varley doesn't believe she left in the middle of the night after all. This must be Mr. Varley's bed. Nothing. $37, $22, $34. Okay, now we finally go to Varley. And we can go and get into his shit. Again, 37, 22, 31. Varley, I swear to God, you better not be in yours. Okay. 37, 22, 34. Okay. 37. 22. 34. A copy of Miss Mantovani's contracts for the sale. For her week's work, she has been paid £3,000, with a further £2,000 to be paid should the seance be a success. A staggering sum, even if nothing comes of the event. No wonder she has come here. A lot of papers, mostly letters, invoices, accounts, and calculations, it seems. It does not look good. The manor seems to be on the brink of closure. It seems like the Marquette is betting everything on the seance. He has even pulled all his wife's charitable efforts to focus the money here. A strange way to honor her legacy. And we can make a hypothesis about Varley. And we still need to profile him, apparently. I wonder what we haven't discussed yet with people for profiling. I'm pretty sure we did the office thoroughly. Vincent Varley's goal is to protect, stop closure, to protect the manor from... No, to protect the manor from closure. To stop... oh, maybe to uncover Miss Dean's disappearance? That doesn't make sense, I think. No. To... I mean, there is really not much in terms of nouns. It's Miss Dean's disappearance, village, or manor. No, it's actually Miss Dean's disappearance or village, because manor and closure are already accounted for. So this has to be Miss Dean's disappearance. Village doesn't make any sense. All to conceal? Is it conceal?
Mr. Varley is covering up Miss Dean's disappearance. I should find and confront him about this.
Yeah, I wish I knew where he fucking was now. Well, actually, if we ring a bell, he will probably show up. So maybe that is easy. Hello, Varley.
May I be...
Your goal is to conceal Miss Dean's disappearance, to protect the manor from closure.
Yes, I regret to say it, but you're right. Do not get me wrong, I am concerned for Miss Dean, but I have done what I can, and still cannot find her.
Sir, you have not done what you could. You hid her disappearance. If you'd alerted the police, then a proper search of this place could have been undertaken. Something may well have happened, or happened to her yet, because of your meddling.
You're right, of course. This place, this hotel, it's not just a business. For the staff, it is our home. This seance, the Marquess's obsession, and the money spent. We need this event to go well, or we are homeless. And if Miss Dean's situation had gotten out, we would most assuredly be in trouble. But there might be another way, one that frees us from the fate of this seance. You see, there are rumors of treasure somewhere on the estate. A cache of gold from the mid to late 1600s. Grania, the wife of the original Marquess Edward Blake, she did not choose to be with him. She had hoarded a sum of money, intending to use it to escape her husband. She stabbed him in his sleep, but he awoke and managed to live long enough to kill her. They died together, and the treasure has not since been found. If that's true, and that stash of gold is somewhere on the grounds, then finding it might just be enough to save the hotel. I've had no luck, obviously, but you might be able to find it.
It's certainly possible. If that will stop you from hindering this investigation, then I will see if I can help.
Take this. It was found in what remained of the lady's personal belongings, but I've never discovered what it unlocks. It's not much, but it's a start.
I bet it is the last cell in the catacombs that we haven't accessed yet. Indeed, it is. Okay. Also, how nice it is that Declan can, in 45 minutes, find the mythical lost treasure that no one else ever managed to find. Declan really is the Superman of investigators. Let's just knock out 30 mysteries over a couple days. So, we should check number 11 just in case. So this is number 11. It is, of course, missing. Entirely unsurprising. So, yeah. I'm not sure what information are we supposed to glean from that ticket stub. Might be something I have forgotten. Well, let's go and quickly find the treasure. So we are all investigators out for the evening. Ah, that's where Varley is. I believe it is this way. Mr. Varley's key bears a symbol that matches the one on this door. I wonder. Oh, a nice chest of gold. Gold, my precious gold. Doubloons. A chest packed tightly with jewelry and other valuables. No doubt Mr. Varley will want to see this. Yay! I'm rich! I'm rich! But I suppose it's Mr. Varley who is rich and I get nothing of it. Varley?
May I be of...
I understand the hotel is in some financial trouble. It is a difficult task to keep an old house like this in good condition, let alone profitable. Even the business the Grand Seance has brought in does not make up for the cost of putting it on in the first place.
Mr. Varley, it appears you were right about that lost cash.
Let's discuss this further in my office.
Surely you can see this giant chest of gold that I'm lugging.
I can't believe it. I'd hoped it really existed, of course, but I owe you a great debt, Mr. Ward.
Sure do. Pay up.
I wouldn't want to put another one on you. I think you've had your fair share. I believe you've been given the blessings of the woman who hid the money too. I think now you just need to put it to good use.
I most certainly will. Thank you. Sincerely.
And, Mr. Varley?
Sir?
Never risk another guest's life. Not for any reason. Because I will find out. And I will have this place shut down.
Understood. Now, if you would excuse me, I have plans to make. Perhaps I best work while the seance happens, to take advantage of the Marquess being distracted. Everything should be in order already anyway.
Mr. Varley will no longer be attending the seance. Mr. Varley has received the treasure hidden in the Manor's catacombs and may now use it to save the hotel from closure. And the measuring device is fucked. Okay, so Blake is not a real mystery then. We cannot do anything about Blake, and we cannot do anything about Coventry. That's all the lights out. What does that mean for the seance, I wonder? And achievement, lost cash. Mystery solved, Mr. Varley. You have not. Declan, you have gathered fuck all, but we have already eliminated everyone anyway, so... Yeah, and you're also not a real mystery. I guess let's just summon him for a reflection.
May I be of service?
What will you do now?
That all depends on what comes next. I do not know what to expect from this event, if anything. Perhaps we'll see an influx of guests and everything will be okay. But if not, there is money there to keep the place afloat and its occupants safe. Either way, I suspect we are all long due a holiday.
Yay.
I need not.
Let's go and yap a bit with a couple of guests here and there, and then move on. Like, we can start by talking to Dupré. A fine suit of armor. I wonder if it's seen battle, or if it's purely ornamental. Oh, Montolani is also here.
I wish there was more I could do.
As do I, Signor. But it is how it is. I have pushed myself for so long. I was young when I left my family for a better life. And I found it. I enjoyed the finest things with the finest company. But for all my fame, I have little to show. And faced with the end, I finally realized what wealth I had at home. Like everyone in my position, I thought I would have more time. I thought I could go back, fix that, which I broke. What a cliche I have become. Maybe this is what the ghosts are trying to tell us, that our time is limited and we would do well to be more precious with it. One way or the other. I am soon to find out.
Well, what about the strange device? Do you know what the strange device in the atrium is for? It is not. Is it not a measure of how successful we will be? This is what the Marquess tells me. I cannot recall what it measures. Ghosts or the veil or such? Maledetta memoria. I do not know. Sorry. Okay. Marquess said you would know. Which is quite odd, I suppose. Have you met the father yet? I am a good Catholic girl. Of course I have met with him. How fortunate for us that, if the seance does not go well, at least we still have one way to gaze upon the dead. Oh, you're making fun of him. That man needs some sun. I gather Miss Callahan has learned a way to use well water to see over great distances. Yes, and she makes it look easy, does she not? With only an intention, she was able to guide me to see my familia. To think, she has to keep such a wonder secret so men and frogs do not take her to the flames. So many of your people have lost loved ones to the Americas because of your famine. Imagine they could stay in touch. Ah yes, we could have magic internet. Marquez Blake seems to have spared no expense on this event. I think I am worth the money, no? I meant the ball last time. Ah yes, the ball. I worry we might have provoked some spirits, but the Marquez insisted on the drugs. Part of the attuning ourselves to this place and its frequency. And the others, they seemed happy with the experience, no? You should not drug people without their consent. Do you know anything about fetters, Miss Mantovani? These are what binds us to this world after death. They are unfinished business. Only for the dead, they say... Shotshas? It starts with the living. Always business, always unfinished, always something to do. Or what would be the point? Why some can leave it behind, and others cannot? That is down to the person's personality and the situation. You are to be our guide for the seance, I understand. That is an impressive undertaking. Ah, it is but one among many, Signor Ward. Every party needs a cartomancer. Though, I must tell you, there is something about the shadows. Too long. Too many in the wrong place. I am sure it is just the amount of ghosts lining up to speak with us and not something else. Do not worry. This is good. What a night we will have to remember. I think you're lying to yourself. Have you noticed anything out of place here, Miss Mantovani? Oh yes, Signor. The spiders, for one thing. I saw a bird last Thursday. Little. All caught up in their webs. I made a small grave for it beside the stables. But you know what I found the next day? Don't tell me it was empty. I found spiders, littered across the grave, feathers through their bellies, like, offerings. I never knew why people were scared of spiders. Never knew. There are worse things that chase them. Do you think there are ghosts around this place? You don't have a sense for them, then. There are more ghosts here than there are guests. Even in my sleep, I hear them. There is a reason this place we gather. There is a reason this is the place we gather. So many years of tragedy and misery to strap so many souls. The Blakes have not always been good people, I think. But this generation, they're different. See? You look tired, Miss Mantovani. Oh, no, that's... There is a lot of strange energy in this place. It is difficult to sleep in a place so beset with spirits. Are you cold, miss? Your hands are shaking. Oh, I wouldn't. Don't worry about that. I have been... You're right, of course. I should be wearing my shawl. You must be very fond of that taffeta. It shows in the wear, doesn't it? However precious something is, however much you love it, I will change it. This is a Visconti Sforza deck, given to me by the woman who trained me as a child. It has served me well, and has given me some very interesting readings over the years. I will be offering readings all weekend in the hedge maze. For such a special occasion, I wish to put the cards to good use, and it will be, as they say, on the...
That's all.
Okay. Let's chat a little bit to pray, and then wrap up.
Hello again.
Is she really laid to rest?
She is. Thanks be to Maman. And thanks to you and Mrs. Joyce, of course.
And that means... you will not see her again?
Not in this life, no. Why are you asking?
My brother. He is dead. Since coming here, I've learned he's still with me.
Unfinished business of his own, perhaps.
But how do I find out what it is and free him? Before he becomes trapped like your Laura.
That I do not know, Mr. Ward. But if Laura found a way to get you to free her, I'm sure your brother can too.
Okay. Have you ever heard of, well, ghosts that are larger than normal? I've heard of great many things, and many cultures claim to have had giants walk their lands in times past. But no, I've never seen or heard of it. At least nothing that makes me believe. But other things, that is possible. Perhaps not a ghost, but an angelic visitation, or other godly figure, maybe. This land's old gods, the Dartha Dedan, would have been described as larger than men, for example. And the mythology here references many giants in that vein. I witnessed a person washing clothes in the fountain when I arrived, and I'm wondering if you experienced anything like this. No, but I believe there is a creature here, a variant on the more well-known Banshee. Instead of keening or sinning to forewarn of death, this other creature washes the clothes of the doomed soul. I think she is called the Banni, or the Washerwoman. I suspect there are entries on her in the library. I've heard Miss Callahan is a master in the art of well scrying. She is indeed. I had some time with her, and she was able to show me the people back home. To be able to show a person their loved ones all separated, what a gift. Can you tell me anything about the Fae? You know, every culture has its name for things that live on the edge of our understanding. The Japanese call them yokai, the Persians have peri, and Russians call their leshi, and so on. Leshi is a specific creature, it's not a type of beings. Each one is shaped by their climates, and the reports influenced by the human cultures, but I think perhaps they are all the same thing. Whatever that ultimately is. Do you know of the goddess Brid? I do. A friend of mine was a priestess of hers. Brid was not one of the sovereignty goddesses, but in some ways she should have been. When the Catholic Church came here, she alone was deemed too powerful to be swept under the rug, and so they canonized her. Saint Bridget of Kildare she became. A lot of the same domains: husbandry, midwifery, healing. You may have noticed her crosses hung along the walls of the manor. My own law, Maman Brigitte, is said to be the part of the old goddess that fled the church and was changed in that journey. It is interesting, isn't it? 3 versions of the one goddess, all distinct, yet so similar, all back together under the roof, so to speak. I guess we can ask you. What do you know about fetters? Chains, Mr. Ward. Physically, yes, and spiritually. A ghost can no more escape its fetters than we can chains in a cell. Unless, of course, there is a key. Fetters are impermanent. Can they be undone? Oh yes. Some spirits need simply release their sorrow. Many need help to do so. But some ghosts are chained to worldly objects. In those cases, permanence is likely the intent. You're saying fetters can be made? I've made them, Mr. Wood, though only ever as a last resort. I hear the Marquess has a son, so I gather. He was in a carriage accident, I think. I don't mean to sound insensitive, but I get a shiver down my spine anytime I realize he's watching me from his room. It's not just the weather that keeps me from the gardens. Have you met with the owner of the manor? Marquess Blake? Indeed I have. He was perfectly cordial. But even so, in my line of work, you get a sense for grief, and that man has it in spades. What did you make of last night's ball? Why, it wasn't dissimilar to Mardi Gras back home. Less so. But when you are as homesick as I find myself to be, it was a welcome distraction. Did you spot the quartet? Apparently, that 4-piece were killed here over 100 years ago by the Marquettes of the time, so nobody else would hear how finely they played. They just played some instruments and let those lost souls find them. Quite macabre, but also fascinating. Okay, so I guess everyone saw that. I've had a lot of talk about this place being haunted. Have you ever experienced anything of the sort? Oh, this manor is haunted all right. There is souls around every corner. Some are more upset than others, but none of them are doing very well. They wouldn't be here if they were, after all. There is whispering in many of the rooms, if you just listen for it. They'll be kept here by some fetter, some unfinished business or important artifact. The question is, what that fetter is. Have you noticed anything strange while you've been staying here? It would be the place for that. I keep finding ash on my clothes. I don't have the faintest idea where it comes from. Admittedly, I was afraid that, well, I brought an urn with me. Thankfully, the lid is on tight. You know, Mr. Dupre, I can't help but admire your clothing. It's quite fine. Why, thank you. I run a funeral house back home. It is not glamorous work, but it is more than worthwhile. I am lucky enough to do quite well for myself these days. I guess we should try and find the Marquess, although who knows where he is going to be at this time. In the drawing room. Oh, he's right fucking here. Let's discuss your topics. How are we doing on time? Oh well, we'll discuss them and wrap up. An event like this must be a real boost for the hotel's income. One hopes. But this is about more than profit, Mr. Ward. Money unrecovered is still money well spent. It must be a great privilege to be the Marquess of Doon. It is, but I cannot lie. The title means less nowadays. The family is smaller. The holding smaller still. It is my hope that turning the manor into a hotel and hosting this event will play their parts in reinvigorating the role, before I pass it on to Walter. You look to be carrying the world upon your shoulders, Marquette. These last few years have not been easy, but that will all be in the past soon. A new day, a new chapter, is only hours away. You seem worried. Is everything all right? Do I know? I suppose it is fair to say that I have a lot riding on this event. Once it is done, it will be nice to return to the way things were and relax for a spell. Might I ask how much of this area belongs to you and your family? I am unsure anymore. We owned quite a lot a long time ago. Some have been sold over the years, or traded as dowries. There are records, but I'd have to go and search them. It is likely the time of year and the event playing with my mind, but I could swear I have seen figures in the distance. There have been reports of hauntings on the manor and its grounds as far back as my family has held it. Certainly, I have encountered the occasional oddity myself. What do I think they are? In truth, I do not know. Are they even real? Well, on that, all I can say is the Blake family records are littered with mysterious deaths and insanities that have no other explanation. Hopefully tonight, we will find out for certain. Okay, we have covered every single topic available with him. I guess we could ask him about Mantovani. How did you hear about Miss Mantovani? In the same way one learns of any expert, I asked for recommendations. Her name came at the top of most lists, and so I contacted her. She has proven a delight, and I have the utmost faith in her for the task she undertakes.
If you'll excuse me.
Okay, well, we have studied everything we could about you. So we are going to end today's episode, and tomorrow continue our investigation. We have an hour until silent dinner, and then the grand seance, the ultimate finale. So, thank you for watching everyone, and have a good day. Goodbye.